What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Banski Show. I'm your host, Banski, and today our guest is Matej H. Joining us today. How are you, Matej?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure to have you, man. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Just real quick, how do you prefer to be addressed? Is it Matej H, or do you go by
Matej is fine.
Matej?
H awesome. Is my last name initial. My last name is Harangozo, but since it's an Hungarian last name, originally from Slovakia, and I don't want to give my first name is already hard enough to pronounce the proper way, so I don't give people additional things to have to try and screw up.
Yeah, make it easy. All right, yeah. No, but that's awesome, Slovakian, huh?
Yep.
Actually, that's one of the first questions I wanted to ask you. Well, first off, a little bit about yourself. Could you tell me just a little bit about yourself in your own words?
Yeah. So, I am from Slovakia originally. I moved here when I was almost 12, started sixth grade in America. Very early on, I was always the kid that would figure out one way or another to make extra side cash. So you could say, I had a bunch of side hustles early on in the days. After going to college for mechanical engineering for a couple of years, I dropped out my fourth year. I didn't think I would enjoy being an engineer working for a large firm. So I started my first company with one of my really good friends and ex-business partner. We started in real estate. That was right before the market crashed in 2008. So I think we started the company in like 2005. And we had business partners that were my business partner's older brother by 4 years and his friend. So, we had good people on the team. We learned a lot, put it that way. After that, it got us into starting a company, which I think was like a sixth company together called Renew It, which was the biggest venture we were able to get off the ground. That ended up being 50 plus employees for a couple of years. I think we did like $5.5 million in revenue for 2 years straight. So that was a lot of great learning experience. Unfortunately, we had to shut that down. And throughout all of that, when I had a little bit more time and the money was good, I got into the music industry. Always wanted to be in the music industry since high school. But during the Renew It days, I was able to actually do so. I built out a studio, invested into some artists, got burned a bunch of times, fell flat on my face, had to learn from it and get back up and keep going. And when we had to shut the company down, Renew It, and I was at the crossroads of figuring out what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to have to work for somebody or get into something else. I'm like, let me get into the music industry full time. So I did, and I think I learned a lot up until then of what not to do. So I figured if I apply everything that I think I need to do to succeed for me, my artists, the producers that were around me, that we would have a chance. And sure enough, we did. So that's kind of my, short journey. And that was in 2017 when I really got into the music industry full time.
And you started in the capacity of, sounds like a more like a manager position. You were investing in artists. You weren't an artist yourself, or something like a producer?
Producer, yeah.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah. And I, still, when the time will free up again sometime soon, I will get in the back of the production. I'm also a mixing engineer, mixing and mastering. I did a few songs for Universal and MMG for Rocky Fresh.
Dope.
Specifically. So, just seeing what I was able to do through connections, not even really marketing my production services. I knew that if it was just marketed the right way, every artist I was working with, it would get to the next level. But yeah, artist manager, I pride myself on wearing every hat you could probably imagine by being a manager, producer, mixing engineer, the art, cover art creator, video editor, director, like anything that needed to be done that could get, me or my artist or my producer to the next level of whoever I was working with. I try to figure it out. If I didn't know it, I would ask or learn or reach out to somebody that I respected and I felt like they had the knowledge of what to do or what not to do. So
it sounds like you're a true artist, or at least you have all the qualities that a DIY artist should have in today's, tech age of, being online and streaming music business. And so you've been in business working in the music full time for at least 4 years now. It sounds like since 2017, and And what specific ways are you? I mean, you just listed a bunch of different ways that you provide services, but what are like the main ways you help artists today? Um,
Today, I'm fortunate to say I have an awesome team that provides digital marketing services for our clients. So the way we help clients is by handling all their digital marketing needs, not just digital marketing and running ads on Facebook and Instagram, but once we build an audience, also handling their email lists and helping them convert their fan base into revenue through putting them on texting apps or through creating campaigns for selling show tickets or helping with getting sponsorships and endorsement deals from the brand that they created. So we help that way. And me personally, other than overseeing that entire operation and working with a few clients directly that way, I also consult to a lot of artists that may not work with us in the as a digital marketing agency.
mhm.
When they get to the higher levels, when they negotiate with labels, I try to look over contracts. I've even been present in meetings to try to make sure the artist doesn't get screwed. And then recently, I was brought on the management team of Hello Sister. It's a client that we've had in the digital marketing agency for a little over a year, and my business partner Bernard has brought me in on that deal. Um, to help manage the entire operation. So I don't have to manage the artist directly because this is, believe it or not, even though they're independent, they got like 10 people around them already. So I get to manage all the people or, manage the opportunities that my business partner Bernard creates for the band. And, I get to more so manage the organization from a business standpoint.
Mhm.
That's where, I don't really interact with the artist directly too much in that sense. And then through that relationship, and because of my Indie Artist Accelerator, I'm going to be teaching at Kennesaw State, which is the Joel Katz, music business and entertainment program, which is equivalent to like Berkeley School of Music. I'm
Yeah,
teaching.
that's super dope, dude.
I'm very happy about that. That starts this June, so I'm going to be an adjunct professor there until I build that model out. We can get more people underneath the team.
Congratulations, dude.
Thank you. So that's exciting. We also have another college that we have a contract with called Visible Music College in Memphis, and more to come. And that's sort of what the Artist Accelerator is as well. So the last way uh, I personally help is that since I created my company Open Source Entertainment, which was in 2013, that was just a company I created to sort of make sure the money I was spending on the studio got written off the proper way and not treated as a business. But the reason I named it Open Source Entertainment is because I was always the CTO of all my companies. So I was always into the technology. I would build out the websites, the software for our organizations to help us streamline all of our processes. So I was really into the open source platforms, just that whole methodology, that whole culture of software developers creating something that will give out to the public for free, powerful tools. Like imagine Microsoft Office. There's an open office, which is pretty much a replica of that, but it was done under open source. WordPress. A lot of people have used that's an open source platform. It's a community of software developers that did not care about getting paid anything, created a system that before WordPress or Joomla or Drupal were available, that would have cost you 100 grand to create as your own, content management system. So I named the company Open Source Entertainment because I wanted to sort of do something similar by creating an Indus by artist incubator. If you're familiar with like business incubators, they're like each county has one through Chamber of Commerce or like universities have them, but it's basically to incubate a business in the idea stage into a company that can actually revenue or get up and running. So I wanted to do that for artists by using open source methodology, like getting information from wherever I could that was actually valid,
Hmm.
real information,
Yeah.
passing that down and help the artist create a company and then get a smaller portion of the revenue, maybe kind of like a franchise split where it'd be like, anywhere from 15 to 7%, not how labels do, where they take 80% and they give artists the 20. Um, so I've never actually built the incubator because I always thought I had to do it, which I still think I will once COVID is sort of over. that I believe it needs to be in a music market like Atlanta, New York, LA, or whatever. I'm in Baltimore. So I've never built out the physical spot the way I wanted to, but I started using that model back when I was an engineer and like, doing a lot of stuff in the studio. I would start consulting. I would create these packages where artists would come in and they would purchase studio time. But in that studio time, it would also include hours of me consulting them on how to approach their brand, how to approach the business, how to approach marketing, how to approach creating the LLC if it was necessary. So out of that model was born the Indie Artist Accelerator, pretty much what I wanted to do, but the online version of it.
Yeah.
So, there we offer, I do a live class every week that's very structured. It's almost like a lesson in college, similar to what I'm going to be doing at Kennesaw State, teaching you about how to run ads, teaching you how to organize yourself, how to create strategies for launching your singles, how to interpret contracts, how to build your team, what tools to use, all of that. And then additionally, twice a week, I do live Q&As with all of our students or members, plus
Hmm.
our clients at the digital marketing agency. And that's whatever you add. A lot of times we'll go over specific examples of what our members are dealing with, helping them, smoothing out their strategy. So I know it's a lot, but it's really, it's for it's to help the artists get to the next level and to figure out how to monetize their art at the end of the day.
It reminds me of, like, the elements of hip hop. There's like also like the elements of being an artist. There's like all these different, like you just mentioned, the tech, the marketing, the business aspect, contract reading, networking. There's so much. So that sounds awesome. Uh, you mentioned the texting service. Do you guys use Superphone or do you guys use something different?
Superphone. We actually have a um, sort of a partnership with Superphone, Ryan Leslie's company, where we can offer discounts if you go through our agency. So, and we get I guess better support from their support team. We can get them on the phone right away if something goes
Sure.
wrong. So, yeah, that's the one we offer. But there's Community is another texting app. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The What matters is that you start collecting um, the personal, or that you start collecting the contact information of your fans,
Hmm.
because none of us own Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We don't own these social media platforms. And God forbid you get one of those shut down as an artist for whatever reason. Now they literally sever your connection to all your fans. So unless you get their email addresses or direct contact information, how do you stay in touch with them? You can't.
Yeah, you're kind of out of luck unless you got an email. And then even to get the email, you have to give something in exchange of value that they're willing to trade for.
Exactly. And texting just works way better these days. The open rates and the conversion rates. Look, majority of the clients that we support, their fans are going to be from the age range of like 13 to 25, and that generation interacts way more with text than
Yeah.
email. So
Right.
email lists are still very important, but it depends on what type of a business you are, or even if you're an artist, what is your specific demographic? If you're going after the like 30 to 50-year olds because that's the music you kind of create, or then emailers will probably be way more powerful than texting. I
Yeah.
would like to A and B test those. I still think texting is just way more personal, which also means that in 10 years from now, texting may be sort of become like an email, kind of annoying. Like you don't even want to have a phone number anymore because you just get constant spam. I'm getting it now. Like I get
Yeah.
text.
So say.
I don't know if you do, but I get random ass text from a random company like, "Hey, would you like to earn extra $700 a day?" I'm like, I can't believe I'm getting these texts. That sucks.
I was just notified I have a new iPhone 12 on the way. I had no idea, but dope.
So,
That's
but
sick. You're doing an incubator. I just interviewed Wendy Day. She's also doing a incubator. She's starting a brand new incubator, and I noticed that she's a client of yours on your
yeah,
websites. That's the legendary Wendy Day. That's awesome.
that's my girl. I love Wendy. Yeah, we had a number of conversations about her incubator in Atlanta. Hopefully, I can be involved with that as well, one way or another. She knows I'm here for her. She knows what I can potentially do. So yeah,
Yeah,
we have conversations all the time about that.
that's awesome. So I found you, Matej, through Instagram. I'm sure you're in other places as well, but the, your daily biz posts, your music biz daily is what it is, right? Music Biz Daily posts. You're posting every single day, uh, valuable video clips where you're discussing music news, tech news, everything that you're speaking about is related to and related to music, geared toward helping artists. One thing I want to ask you is what what's your creation process on doing these posts that you do every single day, and you're so consistent. How do you stay consistent? Can you just shed a light on reveal a little bit of your creation process?
Yeah, I have a great team. I'm now in a position where I can afford to hire my man Javier, who goes by Image. He's an artist as well, produced, super talented guy, but he's also my full time videographer right now and director of what I do. So I would say at this point, he scours the internet and helps find topics or news. My fiance does the same thing for me to talk about. He gives me a topic for the day. I look at it, either read the article, and then boom, we make a 10-minute video. Usually it's one take. 99% of them are one take thing. So we would do that. He processes it. We create the Instagram version, the YouTube version, and that's at minimum I got to do one of those per day. You know, and sometimes like if I go on a business trip or a mini vacation or throughout the for the weekend material, we'll sort of pre-record a couple days worth ahead of time and then just kind of have them in queue to release. But I would say still at this point, 80% of them are that day.
Yeah.
We create and post.
Is it at a set scheduled time, or is it just
What we
whenever it
try to
comes
do
up?
it at 11 a.m. Yes, my calendar is very it's pretty crazy when you look at it, but it's also very organized for me. Otherwise, I will go insane. Because not one thing I forgot to mention. Besides this company, I also own a software development company that has close to 50 employees, and we work with like Fortune. So I run that. So those are the two things I balance my time between every single day right now. So yeah, I try to keep a consistent schedule on the daily basis or on the weekly. Like even today being Sunday, tonight I will probably map out majority of our time blocks throughout the week to do these videos. And again, like I said, now I have finally a team where all I have to do is spend, maybe 30 minutes a day to read the material, prepare for it, and then just go off the top of my head to talk about it. I think they could be better. Eventually, I would like to be more diligent about scripting it better, and have I think I'm going to launch relaunch my old podcast sort of soon. We'll see how that goes. It's really an online show, but yeah, it's organization, and before I was doing it on my own. And if you notice, if you go back like summer last year, I try to be consistent and put them out every day, but I wouldn't always put out a music biz daily every single day. At that point, I tried, but at least I would put out a post per day
Mm-hmm.
of another Instagram page that highlighted a great article or an interview, and then I would
Yeah.
take some time to write like good 3 to 4 paragraphs of some solid, my 2 cents on that particular topic. So
Yeah. That's funny because I actually thought to myself one day when I was looking at your page, I was like, these could be little short podcast episodes. And
you know what? So I think we're doing that. I think we're starting to do that next week. I'm gonna Everyone is just gonna be on Spotify as well. Amen.
that's a that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Because you have so much content. I'll be honest with you, it's hard to keep up. But I mean, that's a good thing, right? I mean, you're gonna create a huge library of content. Um, that's awesome. I definitely got to go back and I do that actually every other day. I check out one of your videos. Um,
Thank
I
you.
want to, and I recommend everyone listening to go check out his videos as well. You're gonna learn a ton. Um, I wanted to ask you, since you work with so many artists, what's the biggest struggle and hurdle that you see as kind of coming up as a recurring pattern that today's artists, at least the ones you deal with, are the struggles that they're encountering, the main struggle that they're encountering, and what's the answer to relieve that struggle?
In my opinion, uh, artists struggle most with understanding that this is a business. I think majority of the artists that I've spoken to that came through my studio in the early stages, they I don't know, they understand it's the entertainment business, but they don't look at it like a business. They think it's let me just spend time on creating the music, and one of them will eventually go viral, or somebody will finally recognize my talent and build a business around me. But I think that's the biggest hurdle, because what I compare it to is, I don't know any other business, whether I'm going to compare it to being a cook, right? Because
Mhm.
being a chef, it's sort of like you're passionate about it. You create food, right? And you can set up a food truck or a restaurant. But I don't know one chef that really sits around and be like, man, I hope one day TGF Friday recognizes that I'm a chef and they're going to build me my own chain of restaurants. It doesn't work that way. Anybody I've ever known that created a restaurant, they had to figure out the business. They had to get an investment, a loan. They had to set up a staff,
Mhm.
get a director of operations or somebody to operate the restaurant. Whether they were the chef or just the business owner or not. Or uh, any business. For that matter. Like, even you with the podcast, you want to be a podcaster. Okay, you're creating content. How are you going to get in front of millions? Because you got to compete with millions of other podcasters.
Mhm.
you know so I don't care what you're doing. If you want to make money out of it, and look, it's okay to be a hobbyist. You can walk into probably most Baptist church in America on any given Sunday, and the amount of sheer talent vocally and musician wise will by far supersede any A-list artists that are out there from a singing standpoint. I guarantee you, every church has a better vocalist than Beyonce or Bruno Mars or whoever you consider being the best vocalist. But are they
Right.
famous? No. I bet you 90% of the grandmas in this country make better food than the top
Hmm.
restaurants in this country. Do they have restaurants and thriving businesses? No. So there's a difference. And as an artist, you are a business. And I think that's what most artists struggle. They don't understand how much of everything else besides the music you got to do to succeed. And I think you have to recognize it. In 2021, you have to recognize it, not only because it's never been easier to be independent, but also because if you do recognize that you have to be a business and you learn more about it. I'm not saying you have to wear every single hat and have to be your own accountant, your own lawyer, and all of that. Obviously, if you can handle all of that, you'll be unstoppable. But if you can't, at least learn about those positions, so that way when you do start to attract people to be on your team, you can at least understand who should be in what position, and you're not going to get scammed from a standpoint that you don't really know what this person is supposed to do. Like, they're just telling you, oh, bro, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z for you, and it's going to make you blow up. You could look at it objectively and say, that makes sense. You fill that position. Let's get to it.
Mhm.
Or it could be like, okay, I guess it sounds plausible. Go ahead. And then next thing you know, they tell you to spend 10 grand on not anything that's going to help you in any type of way, or you paid them some money. They don't do shit for you. And now you're sort of, left in the same spot you were before. So
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing, man, is from my opinion, is that's what most artists struggle with. And then maybe, and I guess this is for any entrepreneur again as well, is that some artists think that their music is way better than it really is. And again, it's nothing that I would say. Look, I'll give my opinion to anybody about their music, but like, our clients ask us all the time, what can you guarantee me? Can you guarantee me that I'm going to get 100,000 followers for X amount of all this? No, I can't. One thing I can guarantee you, that if you have the proper budget that we suggest you spend on ads, I will put you in front of the right demographic of people that should generally like artists like yourself, and I will guarantee you that we'll get you all of their, or a lot of their feedback. They'll drop comments. They'll show us how long they're watching your content percentage wise. They'll show us how likely are they to click on the link of the ad, because your content, your artistry, your personality has captured them and they want to see more. They go to your page and follow you. So that I can guarantee.
Mhm.
What you do with that information, I can advise our clients on what to do, but also digital marketing is not the end all be all. You got to be out there networking. You got to be out there doing physical marketing strategies. You got to be out there strategizing and be diligent with your budgets and not spending money on bullshit and spending it on things that, so, and that's the business part. So I think that's the
Yeah.
big struggle for artists.
Awesome. I love that answer. The business mindset. That's so true. It's a game changer.
Yep. I think so.
Yeah, definitely. Do you also work with producers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you recommend? What are your thoughts on leasing beats versus exclusive, or do you do both, or do you recommend both?
It depends on the brand, but yeah, I think a lot of producers have been super successful um, with creating brands online that attract a lot of artists that then figure out, oh, this producer makes awesome music, let me lease it. But again, it's no other than the artist, right? There's, I don't know, there's 3 million rappers in the United States, but maybe 600 are really making, more than $50,000 a year out of it. So it's like, how did they get to the 600? There's also a ton of producers. So it just depends on the producer in the stage. If you're completely starting out as a producer and you're not in a music market like in New York, LA, Nashville, Miami, or Atlanta, then I think online is your best friend. If you can utilize YouTube properly and other social media networks to let it be known that you're a creative, talented producer, definitely have a store. And one of the ways you'll be able to monetize it the quickest, in my opinion, is to set up a BeatStar store or your own Shopify store where they can purchase your beats and leases. Now, if you've been in the game for longer, and again, you have to understand at what level of demand you are already, or what position as a business you are. If you, let's say, are in New York City, you've already had some connections for years prior, and you can literally create a production, produce the entire instrumental, and maybe have one of the vocalists that you frequently work with do a demo or something that she wrote or he wrote, or even a rapper, and you can walk that as a ready product to a record label or to an A&R, or let's say you have a connection with, I don't know, French Montana or Diddy, and you can walk it into the door, and Diddy respects your production skills, then you can sell it exclusively. So it really depends. Or again, you could do a bunch of leases, and then certain artists will do something with that lease. They'll actually take it to the next level, and then you have to go back to that producer and hopefully get it exclusively because you want to be able to do more with that song.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know?
I was thinking about my brother Lusky the Antidote, who's my producer, but I'm also his manager, and I want to see him succeed as much as possible. And I say that loosely. I use that term manager loosely. I'm not a taking 20%. I'm not, you know what I mean?
Right.
We're just up and coming, but I do want to. I believe in his music, and I want to see him go as far as he possibly can, and I believe he will. So I asked the question curiously, thinking like, is leasing kind of devaluing your brand, as a producer versus obviously exclusive?
It, it depends. I don't think it does. Look,
Yeah.
branding is super important. It depends how. It depends on how else you brand yourself. If you are out there, maybe having a podcast as a producer and actively helping the production community. Like for example, I'll give you some brands that I do love how they approach it. Like Curtis King or Larry O, online, or my man Beats by Jay Black, or Kato the producer. I'm sure they make a shit ton from leases, but they also help artists. They also have an ecosystem for artists to, just help them from an artistic standpoint or help them from the business standpoint or anything like that. So I don't think leasing devalues your brand.
Mm.
It may, again, which perspective are you looking at it from? If you're looking at it from, is it going to devalue your brand in the eyes of some like famous A&R or somebody sitting at the top of a label because they only want to deal with like talented producers that don't do leases? Then yes, it's going to devalue it in their eyes. You know what I mean? But so you can't control the perception 100% for everybody.
Right.
So I think it's a personal choice. I don't personally think it devalues. There's plenty of super talented producers that are having super successful careers that start off just by leasing beats, just by putting
Yeah.
beats on YouTube, saying Drake type beat, Rihanna type beat. So no, it doesn't.
Awesome. Thank you. What are some creative marketing strategies that you've either recently seen yourself or deployed yourself?
Uh, Memes,
Like,
you
for
know,
example, I can start. I'll share one. Sorry to cut you off, but just to share one, like I just recently heard about um, a light show that was projected onto. It was at an event, a physical event, but it was projected onto the nearby building architecture that had the QR code on the light, so it was projected on this building that was right next to this event that had a lot of traffic, and I don't think it was like it was granted permission, but it's it's getting out there, getting the word out there, and I thought that was pretty. I never heard that before. That was unique, and using the QR technology, but yeah, just something similar to that. You mentioned
I love
memes.
that. I did a podcast just on that 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
They watched it. I have a client, Baby Boy Slime, who was on Rolling Loud, and I told them they were going to do Rolling Loud again in 2020. I was like, yo, get a blimp, get some balloon that you blow up, so when he's on stage in front of the 50,000 people, put his damn QR code on at the top, and when he's on stage, be like, yo, I want you all to look up here and here. The projector would have been tight if it's at night, right? But I want you to look up here and scan that barcode. I even told them to get like a equivalent, not a food truck, but one of those cards that you push where you could like at a flea market where you can sell certain things.
Yeah, like the Paletero man that
Yeah,
sells.
I told his manager to basically get like a little tiny, not a billboard, but like a big printed thing on wheels, and just go between the crowd of all the people and the kids at Rolling Loud, like get the ticket and have your artist QR code on it. Yeah, so that that's creative. Um, I think right now with all the NFT stuff going on for our client Hello Sister, we just created a NFT token for their single, and because one of the sisters in the pop band is 12 years old, they're the youngest artist with an NFT. That was a great PR, kind of campaign we're pushing right now. So yeah, there's a lot. I think I've seen recently, not any of our clients, but I've seen some very successful techniques of utilizing memes and putting their song behind. I mean, that's really what Lil Nas X did with,
I'm not aware.
yeah, yeah, he blew up Old Time Road with memes.
I just know he blew up on TikTok, but it was memes.
Yeah,
Wow.
memes. He had a huge network of TikTokers where he would ask them to do whatever, put the song in the background that was relatable and all that. So yeah, you always got to think outside the box. I think I think what you're doing with the podcast, it's a great marketing technique. If you want to put more people on your music, uh, so
Yeah.
and just running ads. I mean, but yeah, there's a lot of creative stuff. It would just again depends on the artist and who they are. Because if you're a country artist, I'll recommend something else. I saw an Instagram post. A creative artist, he got a billboard, a physical billboard in Atlanta. Was like, Coach K, call me. I am such and such artist. Here's my phone number.
Huh.
And,
So it's like a direct contact.
yeah, and it's like, well, who the fuck is going to spend $2,000 for billboard placement? But this artist did, and that was a specific message. And if Coach K didn't see it directly, enough people saw when they took a picture, like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then Coach K eventually saw it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's dope. Yeah, you got to be thinking outside the box all the time
you know?
when it comes to marketing. I saw one of your artists, Boss. Is that how you pronounce it?
Obas.
Boss. Hug the Streets featuring Rick Ross. Fire track. Um, I thought it was dope, and I'm curious. Can you share like the story of how that connection was with Rick Ross was made? How he's able to hop on that feature? If you're able to share that.
Yeah. I mean, Obas has been working with me and my agency since like December 2019. So it's definitely been a year and a half almost now. He came to us with like a full album worth of songs. Wendy Day was his manager. Um,
Okay.
yeah, that's how I met Wendy as well for the first time. Obama
Awesome.
hit me up. He's like, I want to hire you guys to do my digital marketing. By the way, my manager is Wendy. I wanted to get all of us on the phone call so you can explain what you're going to do for us. I'm like, awesome, let's do it. That's how it all started. This was like November, December 2019. So
Nice.
we started marketing. We tested a bunch of songs on his album. We got one that was clearly the winner in terms of the type of engagement it was getting, the feedback through comments, just people loving it. It was called Coleone. So we marketed the hell out of that. We got the video on YouTube to like 2.5 million views through marketing. It sort of got a lot of attention just all over the place. Wendy was instrumental helping him get the stuff on like the right digital radio stations, things like that. So, his brand was slowly growing and growing. And Obaz is just, man, he's a businessman himself. He's a hustler. He's got the connect. He's creating new connections constantly. So I think, forgot exactly where he got the connection to Ross, but it was through somebody else that he was also working with on a separate like marketing initiative outside of digital marketing that introduced them. He was able to convince them to get on the feature. They did. They put it together. They shot the video, and then because we're his dedicated digital marketing team, we're now going full force trying to get that thing out there through digital ads. But not only that, I mean, we got multifaceted campaigns. Like me and Obas talk like almost every day. So I'm also advising him. This is one of those examples where I do work one-on-one with our clients. I try to help him out, and he always brings things to the table. Like, I got this person that could do X, Y, and Z for us. I got this company that I saw could do X, Y, and Z for us. And we evaluate it together. Sometimes I call some people that I know in the industry to see, does this sound plausible? Is it legit? Does this and that? And then we invest and we track it for him. So right now he's got the song on BET, MTV. It's everywhere. It's a dope track. And he's going to radio with it. So I'm going to be helping them, making sure that once he goes to the radio with it, everything else that's done, we can figure out how to capture all of that audience and figure out how to monetize it all the proper way, whether it's through shows, merchandise. He already had a merch store before starting with us, but we're helping them optimize that so he can make more money off of that. So, it's a concentrated effort. Again, just to show that any independent artist is really getting to the next level. It's a team of people behind that effort.
Mm-hmm.
It's never just one person. It would be impossible.
How long how long are you planning on working Hug the Streets?
Until we see clear indication that it's just losing steam, that it's that we've exhausted, the digital marketing audiences, that everybody has seen it a certain amount of times, that, I'm very analytical. We're looking at certain key performance indicators on like Facebook ads, YouTube, to see if the price is dropping or getting more expensive. Better yet, in terms of how much the ad is costing, are we getting a lower percentage week on week of conversion into comments, into going to his website, into subscribing to him? So when every piece of content sort of fizzles out.
Mm-hmm.
The way I build my page and my followers, I remember I had this one ad going for 9 months that I spent like, I don't know, 4 or 5 grand on, that ended up generating me close to 17,000 followers in the US on my page. And I just kept pumping it and pumping it. But until I find a better piece of content that showed me more favorable click-through rates and all of that, ended up replacing it. Like, that ad eventually fizzled out. It got in front of, enough people that it was just, it was time for it to kind of go away.
Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like you have everything, the music business kind of boiled down to a science, where you have all these statistics that you're gathering. You're constantly pivoting and adjusting. Do you think that your engineering background plays a big role in that?
Absolutely. I don't think I would be a successful entrepreneur if I didn't go to school for engineering. Because engineering, all the sciences that I took and the math, I mean, I pretty much took every science and math course you can take to be an engineer, right? I dropped out my 4th year. So, yes, there was more that I could learn, but it was more so about specific, like, classes, like, how to mechanics of materials, like 3, like how to build bridges and things like that. But the math, to be able to take that class, I already taken it. So, it gave me a very analytical, scientific mind. So, yeah, treat everything like a mini science experiment. It's like, if you heard of the scientific method, you could
Of
Google it.
course.
But so I apply the scientific method to every business problem.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. We create a process, a hypothesis. This is what we should expect. If we don't, we're going to pivot. So and yeah, everything. If you saw our daily operations, we got interfaces and tracking for everything. I mean, I have, between all my ventures, I got like close to 70 employees. There's no way I'll be able to, effectively manage that and making sure everybody is doing what they can be doing without project management and tracking data and working off of making decisions off of data. Obviously, because a lot of people that will not. I became rich because I make decisions off my gut and I know how to read people, and I have a lot of emotional intelligence and all that. Yes, that all fits into it. But I love the 80-20 rule. 80% go off the data. 20% apply your personal feelings, your gut feeling, your ability to read people. That's definitely very important. But data is king in today's business world. I don't
Right.
know what you're doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. With you mentioned NFTs earlier, and I know it's a huge topic, and it's new, and everyone's trying to learn as much as they can. Um, but if you can simplify, I just want to ask, what's one way, like artists like myself that I don't have thousands of dollars in a budget uh, to hire someone like yourself quite yet, but what would someone like a DIY artist, how can they get involved in the NFTs and as far as like making money or building their brand?
Um,
Where should they start?
you can go. When I created this last NFT for one of our clients, I had help with it, but I had some knowledge prior with cryptocurrency. But the rest we had to Google.
Mhm.
We just figured it out. You don't have to have $1,000 to create an NFT. You can create an NFT for free. Well, not for free. You have to have some Ethereum for the gas fees to launch the NFT. It's not going to cost any more than like $100, depending on what time of the day you're launching it. But you can create the NFT right now for nearly nothing. Just Googling the process, or being able to hire my company, but that adds a lot of cost to it. But the NFT is not going to be worth anything unless you market it. And if it's I just launched a video yesterday with Jim Jones. I think he had a good comparison, and Gary Vee made this comparison, makes it all the time. NFT is like a digital baseball card. So if there's a baseball card of like the Michael Jordan baseball card of the 1 year that he decided to play baseball, right? It's probably worth something just for the notoriety of that it was Michael Jordan.
Mhm.
So physically, it was worth something because it had a limited amount of pieces, and
City.
the value is held on, I think, two things: Michael Jordan brand as a brand, period, as himself and everything he stands for and has built in his life and all of that. And the second thing that values that baseball card is the demand for that industry. How many collectors are willing to pay XYZ amount for that baseball card? NFT is the same thing. It is a new financial vehicle, but it's like if you can't get fans to stream your song 100,000 times, how are you going to make money off of NFT? NFT is just another way to create something digital and say, go purchase this, or then somebody will sell it. So I think NFT is very powerful. I think every artist should understand what it does and learn about it as much as possible. But again, you have to understand when it's beneficial for your brand. How are you going to market it?
Yeah, that makes sense. Now that makes a lot of sense. Um, it's like if you have a low, fan base, you're still growing your fan base. It's probably better out to focus on making good music and start at the 2020 instead of 2021, because like that's the first time I've heard of NFTs. Is like this year, so I know I'm a little late. I see some people like Blau, was on the artist Blau was early on and talking about it. I think in 2017 or 18. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm still learning about it myself. I have.
But look, and put it this way: so it's a financial vehicle in two cents. You as an artist that's just coming up, you can create an NFT, but again, the NFT will most likely only be worth of what your brand is worth.
Mhm.
However, investing in NFTs, that's a whole different story.
Mm.
If Jay-Z creates an NFT digital art or digital video or something of whatever he's doing, now this is Jay-Z's brand, and you purchase an NFT, and then you put it on the market yourself and you sell it because the NFT can be resellable. It's like, let me try to explain it in the physical sense. Again, Jay-Z signs an autograph, his autograph on one of the posters that was made in 1996 when they started Rockefeller, and it's like one of the only ones out there. You buy the poster for $2,000, then you put it on eBay. Somebody else buys it for $5,000. Now they put it on eBay. Somebody else buys it for 10. They put it on eBay. Somebody buys it for 15. Uh, that was done physically. What an NFT does is every time that new transaction happens of somebody buying your first digital song, and then they sell it again, and they sell it again, and they sell it again to somebody else, there's a track record on the blockchain that remembers that. And you, since you were the artist that created your own NFT, you will get a percentage of each sale if it continues to sell. Now, it'll only continue to sell is if you are an A-list artist and have some type of notoriety. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like, yo, this is the first Banski record, man, in 2021. Let's say we're in 2031. when he created it, is like nobody else got this, and it just goes wild, you know. So Jay-Z, if he buys NFT now and he continues to be Jay-Z and it continues to brand himself and constantly be in the news because he's investing into this and into that, and he's doing this with Beyonce, and he creates another song 5 years from now, his brand worth is always going to be in the consumer's eyes. And as long as that happens, I think his NFT will continue to gain value. And for you as an investor, that could be smart, right? So there's two sides to it. You can invest in NFTs if you feel like you know that market, or you can create your own. It's no different from a stock market. So again, I always tie it that every NFT, whether you're investing in one or you're creating one for yourself, is going to be worth what the value of your or the other person's brand is.
So important. Thank you for pointing that out. That there's the other side, the investing side.
Yeah.
Because I think it's, as an artist, it's easy to forget that people are making a lot of money in this, and it's not through artwork. It's through investing and flipping, selling. Like the NBA Top Shot, some of the numbers I'm hearing, people selling moments for like 80,000. It's crazy. Well, I just want to kind of come to a conclusion. Again, I want to thank you, Matej, so much for your time. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You've been very generous. I do want to ask you one more question. What's the most important tip and advice you can give artists to help them stay consistent? Because you're one of the most consistent people I see, like you and Gary Vee, right? And Gary Vee has a team, right? And but you're able, you guys are doing it every day, which is not you. It makes you stand out, because not many people can do that. And as artists, it's so important to create as much content as possible, and we have to post as much. Some people recommend like 2 to 3 times a day, and that's just on one app. So is there anything, tips and advice that you can give artists that will help them stay consistent in creating content?
Oh man, is there one piece of advice to stay consistent? Study examples. Don't spend too much time on it, but study examples of why consistency is key. Right? Because I think that'll convince anybody of why consistency is important. Like, look, I have some days, trust me, my schedule is packed, and I'm like, fuck, man, did I do that video right? Like, I question it because, like I said, I go off the top of my head. 99% of the time, it's very rarely scripted. So I quite like, should I put this out? Should I not? Do I deal with the consequences in case I said something in the comments? And, so that there's doubt, but it's, again, staying consistent just makes me feel good, and understanding that it works for me, and it works for any artist that can stay consistent on a daily basis. So I guess learn the importance of the business again, because I think when you start learning about business, I don't care what industry you learn it from. I've read tons of books on successful entrepreneurs or successful business models, and certain things start popping up over and over and over again. Like, everybody wants to know, what are the qualities of millionaires? What do rich people do? What do that do? And if you start learning about all this and like really just become obsessed with figuring out how can I be successful, that one word is not the only thing, but that one word, consistency, comes up over and over and over again. So any smart person will be like, okay, I got to be consistent. Even if it's just putting 2 hours away every single day of creating content. You may not put it out, but these days you have to. Again, learn the business. If you learn today's business environment in the music industry, you would see that, again, most of the time, the artists that do become successful create content on a regular basis, especially if it's a DIY artist. Again, if many different examples, if a label takes somebody on, they can invest $1 million behind one song. They can create one song and ride it out for like a year and don't have to put out any other content. I'm sure that's possible, but again, it's a good practice. Just like anything in life, consistently eat healthy. You'll be around for a lot longer. Consistently work out. You'll be higher chance of being around for a lot longer. Consistently be nice to people. A lot higher chance that you'll create better networks and be respected. Consistently treat people the way you want to be treated. So I think every aspect of life, if you want to improve anything in life, it doesn't have to be business related, just personal. Consistency is absolutely key, because I don't see how else you could get there. So learn about why is consistency so important in life. And then I think then artists will be like, oh shit, okay. That just means I gotta create pretty good content every day. Or you create content every day and you find out from fans that it's not that great. If you're not in your feelings too much, you can
Mhm.
then tweak it and say,
Mhm.
okay, fine, it's constructive feedback. I'm not gonna be depressed about this. How do I tweak it so I get better comments? And
Yeah.
consistency will allow you to figure that out.
Quicker too, because you get more feedback as opposed to dropping one content a year, one piece of content a year. You're going to get just feedback on that one content
Yep.
and
Being
consist.
consistent allows you to fail faster. And I want you to think of a fail as a lesson. So it's not a depressing moment. You have to gracefully embrace a fail and say, this was a lesson. But the more consistent you are, the quicker you can have more and more fails. And in
Hmm.
my opinion, the more and more fails you have and you learn from it, the quicker you will get to a successful point of what you're trying to figure out.
Hmm. Awesome.
So,
Thank you, Matej. Is there any last words you want to leave us with? And where can people find you? Any places you want to direct them that you're trying to promote right now?
sure. You can find me on Instagram, which is Matej_H_entrepreneur. If you type in Matej, Matej, I'm finally lucky that my foreign name, since also one of not one of a kind, but there's not many Mateys out there. As long as you type in Matej, I think I'll come up. So find me on that, and I would encourage any artist to join my Indie Artist Accelerator. I've thought about me and my business partner thought long and hard for the entire year. How can we offer something that's low cost but still delivers value? And I think we figured out it's only $60 a month. If you DM me, I'll give you a half off for the first month. Any artist that's listening, but this thing is valuable. I mean, that's my dream to sort of build that community where it provides multiple blueprints for success, and it provides a community of other independent artists that have that consistency or want to be consistent to
Hmm.
a community that will hold them accountable to get to the next levels. It also could help some artists because look, I know people deal with certain circumstances in life. Everybody has their struggles, and one of the biggest thing I would tell people, which is super difficult to do. I mean, I've dealt with this myself, but like remove yourself from things that are negative in your life.
Hmm.
It could be very, very difficult. I'm sympathetic to everybody that's dealing with it, especially when you're dealing with family. But when you become part of a community or a classroom or online community to help you succeed somewhere, you're one step closer to you know having that the the fuel and the energy to go in the right direction.
Yeah. Going back to like you said that incubator, kind of like how colleges are kind of like incubators. Like everyone's just in that same space learning. Especially if you're in a specific college that's like geared toward a specific trade, or everyone's just learning about medicine or music or whatever. Uh,
Exactly. So, and to find that is just go to my Instagram or to our website, digitalsignsmedia.com. That's my company for doing the digital marketing services. You could find the Indie Artist Accelerator on that page in our services section, or if you go to my Instagram page and you click the link in my bio, it's like a link tree basically. And the first button says Indie Artist Accelerator. You can click on that, find out more about what it really is, what lessons are already available, and everything is live. And the one thing I would reiterate: the reason I do it live, I have a huge pet peeve with people just doing webinars and selling them for a lot of money because the information in this industry changes so often. Like
mhm.
Facebook could make an update tomorrow, just like they did 2 months ago with the iOS 14 update, which Apple really made. It changed the way we're advertising on Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, anywhere forever. And we had to adapt to it that way. So, but if I would have made a course from 6 months ago about how to do stuff on Facebook, that shit is now
Yeah,
outdated.
yeah,
So I'm constantly doing it live. So even though I've done a course on Facebook before that happened, and it's still available in the library of all the courses, I'm doing another one again a month from now, giving you all the new information. Because as you said, there's a lot to keep up with, but my company's doing it. My team, I'm fortunate now to have a team that feeds me this information. I'm with them every single day. They're like, "Hey, Matej, this just changed. How do we adapt to this? Okay, let's try a few options. Then once I know it, I'm going to teach it." So all of my stuff is live. with
That's
me.
dope. Yeah.
The latest information I could possibly come across or directly experience through my companies and through everybody we're dealing with.
And you do share some snippets of your lives, I think, on your IG page, which is pretty cool because you get a kind of sneak peek of what you could be experiencing if you're joining the Indie Artist Accelerator. Thank you so much, Matej. I'm very grateful for your time. You've been very generous. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Banski Show. It's been a pleasure meeting you and speaking with you. I hope all the artists listening right now took away a lot of value. I know they did. And I hope they go and look you up and tune into your #MusicBiz daily posts. And yeah, that's the episode for today. And everybody go out, follow IG at MATEJ_H_entrepreneur. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right on.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you.